Go ahead and take questions for Coach. Mic's on each side. Zach over here on the left.
Bo, I believe it was after the Western Illinois loss, you said you knew this team would have some troubles defensively. How do you think the guys performed on that end of the floor tonight?
I thought we played pretty well. I thought we kept Nigel did a great job on DeCourcy. He got some help, but he did a good job of making them work for his shots, and we got him in foul trouble. A couple guys had to go to the bench in the first half. So did we. But I thought defensively we made him take some tough shots. But still, I'll manage to find some rotations and where we didn't stop the penetration and didn't recover quickly enough, and all those things. There'll be some of those out there, but we evidently did a pretty good job because that Temple team can score. They're pretty good offensively.
John, in the back.
Is this team still the biggest mystery in America, or does this game give you a little more clarity?
Well, I don't know. I know some writers that do mysteries, and, they're like bestsellers, and then 2 days later somebody else knocks them off. So when I say a mystery, I'm talking about the proclivity to commit certain things during the course of a game and not being able to correct while the action's going on. People just don't realize, unless you've been in this for a while, how important it is during the course of a game to learn things. I mean, everybody talks about what we do as coaches and teachers, and the student doesn't stop learning just because they're taking a test. When you take a test in the classroom, there's an answer sheet that the teacher has. There's a definitive answer. During the course of a basketball game, when the students are being students, they're learning on the fly. So any team that can improve during the course of the game, take certain things away, have their eyes opened here, eyes open there, that's where this team is a mystery, because there have been a couple games where we just didn't understand the flow of the game. We didn't understand that there are things that you can do while that clock's ticking that can show that you're still improving. So again, it's not a test where you sit down with a pencil. It's a test you get judged by during the course of the action. And we need action. And some of the guys have improved already in some areas.
Tom.
Bo, I think you had Nigel and Buddy held down at Oklahoma, and now he did a pretty good job again today. Do you see him as a kind of a defensive stopper,
Yeah, he really always has been. He really always has been, and just kind of maybe didn't get noticed that much because of some things that maybe Frank was doing or that Josh Gosser was doing as a defender. But between Nigel and Shoei, those guys we can put on some scores and count on a great effort, for sure.
Jeff.
Well, I think this was the first game Nigel did not attempt a three. And I know against Syracuse, you really got him involved on the inside. It appeared that he was determined to do the same today. Was that continued emphasis there, or was that just flow of the game that he didn't take a three?
Yeah, and he really wasn't able to. There wasn't a wide open one there. There's maybe a couple he could have forced, or from a standstill launch, but he really wasn't in position to catch any kickouts. They paid a lot of attention to him, but inside he had a smaller guy guarding him a lot of times, and he was able to get to the free throw line and able to get us some buckets inside. So we're going to take them any way we can get them. Especially knowing that some of our younger guys, when it comes to scoring, we're not sure what we're going to get each night.
Jim.
But when you look at the stat sheet at halftime, you've got 6 guys with 6 points apiece.
You know what? I saw triple sixes, and it made me real nervous. 666 and then 666. I've never seen it before. But there was this time at Connie Mack Stadium that on the scoreboard, the Phillies were playing. The score was 2-2. The count was 2-2. The outs were 2. And they had that clock that was a digital clock. It was 2:22. I was about 10 years old. Straight twos across the board. Never seen it before. We'll never see it again. But this one right here might be the second weirdest stat line for those that, in case are into that.
I love.
Bo, I noticed that Iverson did not play.
That was in case there were any Philly writers in here or anything. Connie Mack Stadium, come on. Go ahead.
I noticed that Iverson didn't play in the second half. He was kind of holding his knee on the bench. Is there any update on that?
Well, I don't know why he was holding his knee, but he was not able to play. So I guess when Henry and the docs take a look at him, but I always tell guys if they get hit somewhere, always grab something else. Keeps you guys guessing.
Coach, this is completely off topic, but it's
Bill Cosby did that too.
it's off topic, but I'm bringing you back to Philly. Do you and Coach Dunphy ever share any Philly stories at all when you guys?
Yeah, we do.
meet up?
He
Can you talk a
doesn't
little bit
believe
about
me,
that?
but I did take a charge on him once down at it was either Avalon or Sea Isle City, playing in the summers. We're about the same age. He graduated in '70 from college. I graduated in '69. But yeah, I knew more about him because he was playing at a school that got much more publicity at LaSalle. At Wilkes, people are still looking it up trying to find it on the map. But yeah, Fran in coaching, seen him at our conventions, things like that. We text back and forth every once in a while. He's a good man. He's good for the game. Dump's forgot more basketball than most guys know.
Back.
3 players in double figures, and then Ethan and Charlie had 9. How important is it for this team to have multiple players spreading the ball around, different people scoring?
How important? I always love that. And what does that mean? All I can tell you is we'll take it from anywhere. And some guys might have better nights than others. Sometimes teams defensively do a better job on some people than others. So it's not like we have somebody that says, I got to go out and get 20. That's just the way we've always been.
Tom.
Bo, first of all, did they have digital clocks when you were 10?
Yeah, they actually did. They actually did.
Now, secondly, do you...
You remember the big round one?
Yeah.
That they had, but this was on the scoreboard. We were way ahead of everybody else in Philly at that time.
Does this have a makings of a good defensive team when you look at this group of players? Do you think you can get there?
Well, we're going to have to play like this. If we play like this, we can, but that's not going to happen every night. We'd like to. So, what we didn't do with only 7 turnovers, we didn't put them in position to score off of our mistakes. Of course, the one nice thing against Syracuse, do you know that most of our turnovers were dead ball turnovers? So they couldn't go down the other end and score easily? I had to find a silver lining there somewhere. But, they're working at it. We'll see here. We get, we got 3 state schools coming, people that know us. We know them, they know us. So these will be some pretty good battles.
Jim.
Encouraged by what you saw out of Charlie and Alex, particularly in that first half stretch where you made the big run to kind of pull away.
Yeah, those guys were doing a nice job, especially with 2 guys sitting on the bench with 2 fouls. they were opportunistic. You know, we just got to keep finding ways. I thought we did a good job of not giving up easy baskets at the rim. And those two guys helped us there.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
All right,
Thanks, Coach.